And Honorable Hassan, thank you so much for talking to us here on KTN News Center. This is not the first time the market has made the headlines. It looks like it's an annual occurrence. This year alone, we've seen 3 different fire cases reported in Gikomba market.
Yes, indeed. We have a major problem as far as Gikomba is concerned. We've had too many fires. We have thousands and thousands of properties and millions worth of goods destroyed every year. But I must say, first of all, in this particular incident, I want to pay a special tribute to the first responders. Unlike any other time, there was a major multi-agency response to the fire. The Nairobi County Fire Brigade was there, the National Youth Service, G4S, the Kenya Defense Force, the disaster management team, everybody was there, and within a short time, the fire was contained, and the police were able to condone the neighborhood and protect the goods and the properties of the citizens. So I really commend the first responders and the multi-agencies for a great job that was done. And I particularly praise the Deputy County Commissioner, who did a fantastic job with his team to be able to contain and protect goods, properties, and lives. The second thing I would like to say is that after so many years of struggle, Gikomba is now turning a corner. We have been able to convince the government, and I am glad that the President is on our side in the front line. The market is going to be built. Last week, the contractor was appointed and is on the ground. We were there on the ground to start the construction of the first part of Gikomba. So I think whoever is trying to destroy Gikomba has already lost. This is the last time I think we would be probably seeing a major fire of that kind. And secondly, we have been able to see that we have improved the ability to deal with fires in Gikomba, as the case was yesterday, which was done very well. And now that the first phase of the construction of Gikomba market has started, I believe that we are going to see many activities. We would have better power links, better pavement, better security, and a coordinated effort to make this the largest informal market in East Africa, a decent and a nice place to do business.
Honorable Hassan, as much as you're saying that the government has started the construction, my understanding it is that this construction has started on the side of the Juakali sector. But when it comes to the side of the traders who are clothes and probably fishmongers carry out their duties, their businesses every day, nothing has been done. And you had that clip that you played on air just a few minutes ago before we started the interview. President Uhuru Kenyatta literally put Transport Cabinet Secretary, that is the Transport Cabinet Secretary, that is James Macharia, on notice, saying that it's been 1 year since the government said they're constructing a market. Nothing has been done. It looks like this is just on paper.
No. In fact, as the President has, as soon as he spoke, action started. I think they may be late. The bureaucracy might have been sleeping on the job, but now they have been shaken by the President of the country. I am alert as an MP, and I've been calling constantly for the government to spend more money and to act on Gikomba, because Gikomba is in a terrible state. The construction place that is going to have the first phase is in the Quarry Road market area. In fact, it is right in the center of the market. You know, Rome was not built in a day, although it has taken us a long time. I see light at the end of the tunnel. We've already started the construction, and once the first phase is finished, we'll go to the second phase. In the meantime, of course, we need the government, particularly the police. And yesterday I did ask the Inspector General, the DIC, what has happened to the investigations on previous fires? Because these fires are not necessarily accidental. Many of these fires are the deliberate work of arsonists, people who want to take control, cartels and groups that have interest in Gikomba and who do not want the development of Gikomba.
Honorable Hassan, just hold on to that thought, because I was getting there in terms of the people who are behind this fire, because last year you're among the leaders who are reading mischief when it comes to these frequent fires that have been reported in Gikomba. But my question is, remember early this year in October, specifically the 17th of October, President Uhuru Kenyatta ordered for an investigation. Until today, we've not seen any report out. Are there people who are trying to ensure that investigations are not done?
Well, that is the big question I'm asking also the Inspector General, Mr. Bonnet, who had promised that the police force would investigate, will thoroughly investigate. We're still waiting for that particular report. I'm wondering what has happened to it. Secondly, we know that they are culprits, and no one has ever been arrested for the crimes that have been committed against the people of Gikomba. 15 people died in June. No one has been interviewed, no one has been detained, and the question that I'm asking the police force is, what are you doing about it? And when are we going to get a report that would give us an insight into what is behind the fires? Are they accidents? Are they deliberate? We believe that many of them are deliberate actions by some people who want to grab the market. If that is the case, what has the police force and the DIC what have you done about that? That is a question I've been constantly asking, and the people of Gikomba are asking, and we want answers on that one.
So for how long, Honorable Hassan, will businessmen and women of Gikomba market continue counting losses? Because last year you were among leaders who read mischief, and who are the people responsible for this? This is the question that business traders in Gikomba market ask themselves every other day when a fire incident has been reported.
Absolutely, and I will be raising that particular question in Parliament to the Ministry and to the Inspector General, and I expect to get some answers as quickly as possible. But the great news is that whoever is trying to destroy Gikomba has run out of time. Gikomba is going to be reconstructed, it is going to be demarcated, it is going to be fenced off, and it will be declared a national market that nobody can touch. That is the assurance I would like to give the people of Gikomba, that it is banning that place would be a matter of history, because construction has started. We have improved our ability to be able to deal with outbreaks of fires, as we have seen yesterday, and we will continue to cooperate with various government departments, including the Ministry of Land, the Nairobi County government, to ensure that this particular market is protected and the right infrastructure is put into place. Because this is a major economic hub for Kenya. It is the largest informal market in East and Central Africa. It provides livelihood to thousands and thousands of people. Thousands of people come to trade there every day. It is a national asset that we must invest and we must protect. And that is what I will be fighting for as a Member of Parliament for Kamkunji.
So as much as you're going to fight for the rights of business traders in Gikomba market in Parliament, as you've said, but who are the people who are planning to edge out the traders and tenants of Gikomba market? Because this land has been in contention for the better part of the year, and of course the land belongs to the Nairobi County government.
Yes, it is not in contention. It is very, very clear that Gikomba land is a county government land. It's a public land. It belongs to the people of Kenya, and it needs to be protected from land grabbers. I wouldn't be able to know these faceless people who are behind the destruction of Gikomba, who constantly play a role in putting out fires there. But what I would urge the police and the Department of Criminal Investigations is to leave no stone unturned in getting these culprits to book, bringing them to justice, and to make sure that we deal with this kind of impunity once and for all.
All right, you've been a Member of Parliament for Gikomba market for several years, for more than 5 years. As much as you're talking about raising this issue on the floor of the House, that's at the National Assembly, urging the police to conduct investigations, what have you done apart from that for the several years that you have, led the people of Gikomba market?
Well, I have been in the forefront in protecting the people of Gikomba, in the construction, in getting them infrastructure. The infrastructure around Gikomba has improved tremendously. The roads, we have improved the ability of the traders to trade very easily. I have brought in a petition in Parliament to make Kamkunji grounds, which is next door, a protected land that cannot be grabbed. And I have constantly been in the forefront in advocating for the rights of the people of Gikomba and for the protection of the market. And that is part of the members of Parliament's job, advocacy, speaking out for the people of Kamkunji. And that is the reason why they have re-elected me several times, because I'm constantly out there speaking for them, protecting their rights, and making sure that Gikomba is never, ever going to be taken by land grabbers. It will not happen under my watch, and whoever is trying to do that should forget it, because Gikomba is going to be modernized. It is going to be an asset and a property of the Kenyan taxpayer, and it will be used by Kenyans for their own economic development and growth.
So who is failing the traders as we speak? Is it the county government? Is it the national government when it comes to security officers? Who is failing these traders when it comes to ensuring that the market does not experience any fire incidents?
Well, this is a multi-agency task. For example, the county itself, the primary responsibility of the county, of the market, is Nairobi County. The second responsibility rests with the government in terms of protection, in terms of security, because police services are under the national government. So it is a shared responsibility both by the county government and by the national government, and both of them need to work together to make sure that the people of Gikomba get the services that they need, and they get the protection they need for their goods and properties. And that we will continue to enjoy Gikomba as a major informal market in our capital city for the foreseeable future.
All right, Honorable Hassan, it's been eight years, 8 fires witnessed in Gikomba market. We shall be giving our views, that breakdown later on a Super Bowl. Since March 2012 to the year 2018 in November, several fire incidences reported. Don't you think it's a high time that probably security surveillance cameras are installed in the market because these fires happen at night?
Yes, the problem is that, first of all, Gikomba does not have a demarcated area. It doesn't have a fence. It is an open market. So it is very difficult to have cameras all over the place. But now, with the demarcation of the market, the construction of the market, probably putting a wall all around it, would be able to facilitate security, not only in terms of putting cameras, but also having exit and entry points that are security controlled. So once we have done that, then we can be sure that, in fact, the security and the future of the market is protected forever.
So what is your message to traders who are watching this interview this morning? And that message has to be something that you are assuring this business men and women that this issue of Gikomba fire is something that has come to an end beginning yesterday.
I would say, first of all, that fires sometimes do happen accidentally. So there would always be, not only in Gikomba, but in many parts of our lives, there would be fires. But I want to assure them that as far as fires that are deliberately set by arsonists, that would not likely happen in the near future because we've started the construction. The second thing, when fires happen in the past, they were left to completely gut the whole market. As we have seen from yesterday's experience, we had a multi-agency response to that particular problem, including the government, including the Kenya Red Cross, including the public sector like GS4. And therefore, this combination of dealing with disasters has shown that, in fact, we now have learned lessons and we are able to control fires much better than the last time. And in that case, I would reassure them that, in fact, we can do better. The market construction is going to start. We're also going to take the necessary measures to make sure that, in fact, there is access to the market when there is fire. So I can assure them that, in fact, the government has shown the willingness to work with us, and they're ready to do their task, and I am around to keep them on their toes to make sure that, in fact, Gikomba turns a corner and becomes a modern an efficient market that we can all be proud of.
All right, so how far is the construction process, and will it be done in phases? Because let me just read for you this. In October 2017 this year, when President Uhuru Kenyatta had ordered for a probe, the government claimed that it had laid about 19 billion shillings, a blueprint to construct a multi-story market where more than 20,000 traders were to be accommodated, as well as ensure an end to the frequent fires. So how far is the construction process, and will it be done in phases?
The construction company only came to the site last week after the President's intervention, and I must thank the President for his concern and intervention. He's shaken up the bureaucracy in the departments that deal with that particular issue. They're now on the ground. We are waiting in fact, in the next few weeks, maybe a week or so, we're expecting the President himself to come and lay the foundation stone for the first phase. The first phase would be in Quarry Road area of the market, and it will have 525 stalls, a 6-story building, and we expect that to take about 12 months. The current contract is 12 months. This contractor is well known and is known to have finished his previous jobs on time, and therefore we expect the market to be up, the first part of the market to be up and operational by November next year.
So by November next year, what you're telling us and telling viewers, including traders, that Gikomba market will be ready for occupation when it comes to the stalls. And of course, as much as all this is works and that it's a plan underway, or rather it's something that's happening, in terms of building the Gikomba market, are there plans to ensure that the market is secured in terms of security cameras or in terms of hiring a security firm?
Well, in fact, there is security in the market. Every trader has a security. Gikomba is one of the areas where the private sector has taken care of its security very well. It's only at night time that you have these intruders, these evil people who come and destroy the properties and the goods of people behind when they're at home. So the only way we can deal with that particular problem is for the market to be demarcated and to be fenced. And that is part of this particular project. The entire market would be fenced, and hopefully, of course, we can now ask the Nairobi County and the government to put in cameras so that we can see what is happening there at night when most of these things happen.
So are you trying to say that, because earlier on you've said, just a few seconds ago, you've said that Gikomba market is secured, that these traders have their own people who man these markets during the day. So are you trying to say that at night there are no people who man these markets? And if they are they working with the people who are banning these markets?
No, I wouldn't know the details of the security arrangements private people make for their properties in Gikomba at night. But what I know is in the daytime when you go there, it is a very safe place where you can trade very easily, you can walk around easily, and you can do your business without any interruptions because there is sufficient security. But the question is, the market sits on a 5-hectare land, and it is open from every direction. So it is very difficult to have control over who comes in and goes out unless it is fenced, unless it is walled. And this is the next step if we want to secure Gikomba, that I would be urging the county and the national government, is to put a wall around with recognized exits and entrances so that you can then have complete control of what happens inside it.
All right, Honorable Hassan, your constituents are now watching you here on KTN News Center, and specifically, let me mention the businessmen and women of Gikomba Market. What is your message to them as we speak?
Well, first of all, let me say that I'm really saddened every time when there's a fire, because one of the things that I know about Gikomba is that many of the traders are low-income people. They put their little investment into business to make a decent, honest living. And it is very painful to see that investment, that effort and energy they've put going up in flames. So I want to assure you that, in fact, I'll be doing whatever is necessary. I'll be knocking on whatever door is necessary. I have done that with the President. I have done that with the Deputy President. I have done that with the government ministries that are involved in Gikomba. I have done that with the county government to make sure that they all come together to make Gikomba a secure market and to protect not only the lives of the people there, but also their goods and their properties. That is the work of any government. A government that cannot protect the lives, the properties, and the goods of the citizens is not an effective government. And therefore, this is what we are going to do. I am grateful that the government has now started engaging the people of Gikomba, and that they're going to start the construction of the market. And we want all to work together with the traders of Gikomba, with the government institutions, with the police, to make sure that, in fact, Gikomba remains a secure and a safe market where you can trade and do your business. And thousands of other people from Nairobi, from Kenya, and from other parts of our region can come and do their businesses. And you can play the role you have been playing in our society of growing our economy, developing our country, and building a better Kenya. That is what I pledge that I will be working for as your Member of Parliament.
All right, Honorable Yusuf Hassan, thank you so much. But just before I bring this I want to bring it to an end, and it will not end until I ask you my question and you respond to it in a minute. What happens to the people who lost their property, counting losses, huge losses yesterday? Are they going to be compensated in a minute?
Well, as we speak, the assessment is continuing. They're determining how many people were affected, the properties the goods that they lost. I gather it is in the millions. Once we do that assessment, we would be presenting that particular case to the government. Some of them have insurances and they have security of some sort. We would all be working together to help them recover and to get back on their feet again.
Right, thank you so much, Yusuf Hassan, Member of Parliament for Kamkunji, just talking to us about the rampant, not really rampant, but the number of cases of fire incidences that have been reported in the Gikomba market. The latest incident being that happened yesterday that left traders counting losses. We will see